Okay, so today we are going to be sharing probably my most complicated configuration, but also my favorite, and that is how I turn games into Wii games. Basically, I'm adding Wii-like control schemes to some of my favorite games, like, for instance, Skyrim. In order to accomplish this, I'm using a program called reWASD, which allows me to remap my Joy-Con controllers from my PC, as well as the reWASD phone app, which I put in my pocket, and when I walk in place, I move forward in the game. And so let's jump into the tutorial. Okay, as with my other tutorials, you're going to want to start off by making sure that you have installed both the reWASD phone app as well as the desktop app. I'm going to assume you know how to do that, and then open up the reWASD app, and you'll be starting on this screen, and you're going to want to make a new mobile controller, and control type, control pad. Make sure you've selected all of these with the black background and hit save. Go to control pad 3 or whatever you've named it. Hit the edit icon there and make sure you deselect all of these just to make them hide. We don't want any accidental button presses. Swipe on over, and as you see all of them, we're going to want to enable or disable all of them except for number 30. I mean, I think you could disable, I think you could have any of the other ones on this screen, but whatever, I like number 30. Okay, and then hit save. And then what you're going to want to do is make sure you have your Joy-Cons connected to your computer. If you don't know how to do that, basically you would go over to show Bluetooth devices, add a Bluetooth, and then like hold down the middle button, like over these little buttons, hold them down until it starts flashing. And so whenever you're back in reWASD in the desktop app, by the way, I've included the configuration in the desktop. I think the one for this I've called something like walk with phone and Joy-Con plus motion or something like that. And so this allows us to walk in place to walk in game as well as using some motion controls. What you're going to want to do is go on over to click this button and then import, and then you're going to want to import that file so that you can have this configuration. You're also going to want to make sure that you have basically created a new group here. You might need to like click up here to enable it, but you're going to want to create a new group. And then you're going to want to select your left Joy-Con, right Joy-Con, as well as the control pad that you're using. I've already created it up here, so we're just going to go back to this one. And that'll be like your phone control pad, whatever, at control pad 3. And then what you're going to want to do is reselect your configuration. And basically how I've made this work is that I've had to switch the joystick and the D-pad for my Joy-Con. It's kind of unfortunate, but that's just going to be the way that it has to work. And so essentially, if you don't press anything and you jog in place with your phone in your pocket, it will automatically make you go forward. If you hold left on the D-pad and jog in place, you'll go left. Down while jogging in place makes you go backwards, and so on and so forth. You understand. The other consideration with this is that the triggers also don't do anything by default. So the way the triggers work is that as long as you are holding down right trigger and then you kind of like swing, that makes you attack. And so this works well for games that are more like melee games where you're using a physical weapon, not like, shooting games. Hi, editor speaking here, and I just wanted to throw out that actually if you wanted to use this for games where you are shooting and you don't want to have to use motion for the right trigger, all you have to do is go to the button over here, which makes you look at the back of the buttons, go over to the right trigger, go to the shift mode, and cancel on the jump to layer, go back, go to reWASD mapping, deselect those so that you're only looking at the actual output for game controllers, and select right trigger. Same thing with the left trigger, but you'll have to actually make sure that you're clicking on the left trigger controller before you do this, and then you'll do the same, you'll repeat the same steps that you did for the right over onto the left. And so there you go. And then make sure you hit apply down here. Apply button, where are you? There you are. Sorry, I switched to a different monitor, so I had to move that. But yeah, there you go. Hit the apply button whenever you're finished. Okay, bye. But you can go to the control pad here and make sure that under 2, the 30 here turns gyroscope on or off. By default, you need to make sure that by default, under gamepads here, your gyro initial state is either on or off, however you want it. I like it to have it on immediately, so that as soon as I apply the configuration to my controller, the gyroscope immediately starts working. But if you want to like have to manually turn it on, you can flip that to off by default. Again, for the left Joy-Con, you have to hold the left trigger and then like shake it around to do things with the left. For the right, you have to hold the right trigger and then move it around to do things with your right hand. I found this incredibly enjoyable for playing games like Skyrim, as I mentioned. And so here's some gameplay of me doing that, and it's been really fun. If you want to see how I've combined these kinds of controls with also being able to count my steps, you can check out my tutorial for how to set up Stepl, which is how I am able to basically count my steps. So this is super fun. I really enjoy playing games like this. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know. If you made it this far, be sure to like and subscribe. I am streaming every morning as I play through a variety of different games. It's been a blast, and I hope to see you there. So thank you so much. Let me know if you have suggestions for other control schemes or other games you want me to try this in. Thanks. Bye-bye.